Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something a little different today, taking it outside. I thought I'd just do something to change things up. It's really windy out here, so I hope you can hear me. And so today we're carrying on with our series on how I get my ideas. And I just wanted to tell you two other stories about how I got the ideas for two of my books. One of them, I had a client who his niche was time travel Highland romance with paranormal elements. So it was basically a copy of Highlander with paranormal elements like shifters and stuff like that. So I did about 4 different series for this guy, 5 books each, and we started on another project. And I did a full outline for him, outlined all 5 books of the series, and I wrote book 1. And I turned it in, and I got paid. And he told me before we did the next book that he was just going to take a short time to work on getting all of the other books published that I'd already written for him. So we took a small break, and I worked for other people. And I didn't hear from him again, ever. And I had this outline burning a hole in the back of my hard drive, and it was driving me crazy because it was one of the best outlines that I'd ever done for this guy. And I really liked the story. So I did a search on Amazon, and it wasn't on there. So I contacted him. This is 3 years later. And I asked if he had actually published the book. And if he hadn't, if I could buy it back from him. And he said yes. And I bought it back, and I wrote the rest of the series, and that became Highland Heroes, the full series. And the other story that I wanted to tell you was about this sci-fi client of mine. He's probably one of my most long-term, reliable, consistent clients, and he does sci-fi. And we started a new series. I had a bunch of different ideas that I floated to him, and I wrote the first book of the series, and I sent it to him, and he hated it because there wasn't enough space action. The plot was a ground mission. So the opening scene, the crew airdrops onto a planet, and they have this adventure on the planet, and then they leave. At the end, there's another battle, and they take off into space, and the series goes from there. And he didn't like it because there wasn't enough space stuff going on in the first book. And this client of mine, I've been working for him for a long time. He knew that I was doing my own publishing thing, and he asked if I wanted to keep it. He'd already paid me for it. And I said yes, and I offered either to give him the money back or do the next book for free. And then he could just take the next book and wouldn't have to pay me for it, and then it would all be square. And he said keep it. He said keep the book and keep the money and call it a bonus. And he was going to write it off as a business expense. And I said, okay. And I kept it, and I wrote the series, and I published it, and that was Hellhounds. It was the first book of Hellhounds. So just a short video today. We're going to see how this outdoor thing goes, and if it works, I might do every video outside. So I'll see you next week. Have a good one.